Morning, Steve here in Chicago with the morning grain comments. Well, markets are mixed with the beans and the meal and the oil and the wheat higher, while corn's a little bit lower. I think going into the weekend, the key thing is weather. It looks like over the next 5 days, parts of Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, Northern Illinois, and Michigan will receive somewhere between a half and an inch and a half of rain. Elsewhere will be dry. The 8 to 14 day forecast suggests warmer and drier conditions, and especially in the west, the northern plains, and the Canada prairies, and also mostly normal conditions east, Midwest, and in the south. So again, we're thinking that this could be stressful to completion of the spring wheat crop, of the corn and soybean crop in the Northwest, Midwest. There is some private estimates out there that the U.S. corn yields somewhere around 177 versus the USDA's 179.5. Again, I think the plant population is probably the key. It goes up every year. It's a way the farmers can add to production without big costs. And so we'll see if that higher plant population actually keeps the yield around that 179 area. In the beans, I think right now we're just counting the height of plants and number of pods. I think the east of Mississippi, you can see a record amount of pods. August weather is key, is whether those pods will fill. You got a range of U.S. yield between 50 and almost 51 versus the USDA's 50.8. So again, a lot of unknown as far as the final soybean crop. When we look at the census export numbers through July, the corn numbers are in line with the USDA's 2850. Beans also pretty much in line with the 2290. But when we look down the road for 21-22, we could see that the bean demand should remain relatively strong, and that corn exports could actually exceed the USDA's number, given the low Brazil crop estimate and also potentially higher China demand. So this year, the bean carryout might be closer to 150 versus 135, but next year it could be closer to 120 versus 155. The 1432 corn carryout for next year is probably closer to 1 billion bushels. This year's numbers will be pretty close to the 1082 that the USDA is forecasting. We also note that U.S. wheat exports are forecasted to be only 11.7% of world trade, which is the lowest percentage on record. We'll also be watching money flow. A lot of concern about the spread of the Delta variant, not only here, but also worldwide. Will that lower demand for both energy and also for a feed and food standpoint? We'll also be watching what's going on in Washington. I think that there is a lot of talk about reducing the mandate of biofuels. The problem is that between now and 2050, we'll add 2 billion people in the world. That's equivalent to the size of the United States every 5 years. And so I think that the demand for energy will exceed that of green energy and solar and electric energy. And I also believe that food demand will exceed all the competition from the laboratory-made meat. And that's positive to agriculture. As always, these are my thoughts and not those of ADM Investor Services. Have a safe and profitable trading day. And remember, always treat people like you yourself would like to be treated.